Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I'm Nye. How are we doing? Let's see. So let's get Haunter into play. I feel really good. I actually so I charged my my Joy-Cons. So now I'm actually using a left Joy-Con again as opposed to the Pokeball. Not to say I don't like the Pokeball, but having my fingers wrapped around so small an object for such a length of time definitely makes my fingers fairly sore. So it is nice to not have to deal with that anymore. Finally started playing Pokemon Go. Kind of as an idle thing to do, you know. And I think I'm going to enjoy it. I'm enjoying doing the very little that I'm doing. So it's not going to be a tremendously big thing, but going for a walk with my dog, I can go grab some Pokemon. Try to do some stuff like that. The local gaming store that I go to for Magic each week also happens to be a gym. So, I didn't have, like, any, power to me when I got there. I hit level 5 literally while I was there last night. And so, just so happens that me and a friend who works there, I chose the same team as them. So, both of us did everything we could to fight one of our fellow players there, try to take over the gym, which was hysterical because my best Pokemon was like CP 400 and the Pokemon defending the gym were CP 2000. So naturally, I didn't get anything done whatsoever. But it was definitely a fun time. So I'm going to enjoy it. And what's kind of more impressive or important is that I'm going to be able to use Pokemon Go to fill in the Pokedex here. You're going to plan to make yourself create a strong Pokemon, but you want to take this Porygon you created. So give it to me. I will take the Porygon. Just give it to me. Yes, I am the intruder. Yep, that would be me. Hi. Don't look at you. You lost to a kid with a nasty look in his eyes. Pokemon just don't have any energy left. Was that not me? Did I not beat you? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the elevator back to floor 1, and I'm going to go up the floors, floor by floor, and just make sure that we get absolutely everything now that we have the key card. So I have caught some stuff in Pokemon Go that we will eventually be transferring into here. So the big things that I really care about are stuff like fossils that are... Okay, well, fine. So fossils are kind of the big thing that I was really worried about, because it's kind of not necessarily easy to get fossils in the game, and I'm more kind of concerned that, I'm going to have trouble actually trading for them. So fossils will definitely be a thing I'm going to be focusing on. We're also going to be focusing on, potentially, let's see, do I have to fight you? Yes. So fossils, first and second evolutions of starters. It's probably a lot easier to, catch early evolutions in there as well for, certain Pokemon. So we're going to go ahead and do that. What I will not be doing is transferring in any Pokemon that I can catch on my own that I have not caught already. So, don't be worried about that. You're not going to miss me. We are not getting Protect, thank you. You're not going to miss me doing anything. So I also, I went and... How'd I know you were Team Rocket? Because you challenged me to a Pokemon battle. I also did go and purchase my, my graphics card for my computer. So that actually happened. Alright, you're the one that gives self-destruct. So I got something, that is a little bit better than what I have now. Got a free copy of Monster Hunter with it, so hey, now I have Monster Hunter on the PC. I'll have to actually play it at some point. I mean, I'm kind of thinking, like, after I spent so many hours on it on PS4, now I have it on PC, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Hello, friend. But yeah, that's absolutely a thing. I was thinking about buying some RAM and buying a new monitor too. But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? the RAM and the monitor are not on sale, so I can just wait for those. I don't really need it. It's just they're both, you know, they're luxuries, you know. Whereas the actual graphics card, yeah, it's a luxury, don't get me wrong, but it's not something, it's something I kind of need, just because my computer is actually starting to, you know, have trouble functioning otherwise. Magmar was always a weird and goofy Pokemon. If you combine the duck lips that it has with the weird protrusions above its eyes, we always thought they were drumsticks. Like seriously, if you look at those are obviously drumsticks on its head. Or it could be a couple of other things that we're not going to talk about because, you know, polite company. But you know, drumsticks. Ah. Cannot stop sneezing. Let's get Blastoise into the main slot and fight this rocket. Or who knows, maybe the rocket won't fight me. Hi. Yeah, why are kids allowed in here? So which kid was annoyingly strong? Is it Blue that he's talking about? Is there actually anything in here, or is this just like... Nope, okay. This is just a room that exists. I was talking to one of my fellow Magic players, and they were, you know, kind of dismissing Let's Go Pikachu as simply a remake of Yellow. And that's about it. Like, you know, there was not much else. And I understand where he's coming from. You know, at the same time, I was sitting there going, well, you know, I think this game, like, if I had to make a statement about what I think this game is trying to accomplish, I think this game is a test. Number one, a test to see how hard the nostalgia hits for players like me who play the old games. A reminder of, or not even a reminder, but an introduction into the Pokemon Yellow style gameplay for newer players. You know, if you think about Pokemon Yellow, that was a long damn time ago. There are a lot of players of Pokemon that have, you know, come out of the woodwork because of stuff like, you know, Pokemon Go, the various, you know, card games, Sun and Moon. You know, and if you really think about them, they never had a chance. Like, these are younger kids. They never had a chance to play Yellow. So for those people, this is a brand new game. So I think partially it's to let them kind of enjoy this, enjoy the original 151, kind of see, show you how slow Blastoise is. At a level 35 is faster than he is. But, you know, they get to kind of enjoy that, to enjoy what the original experience was like. But I think if I had to guess, this is probably also a test of their graphics engine and a test of their game engine to see exactly how well the game performs on the Switch. The next game, presumably coming out, you know, holiday season next year, is going to be on the Switch. So I think the idea here is very much a question of, okay, so how's it going to perform? You know, I was very disappointed when I played Sun and Moon. Well, okay, very disappointed is an exaggeration. I wasn't that disappointed, but I was disappointed when I played Sun and Moon on my 3DS XL. I didn't have the new 3DS XL, so I didn't have the accelerated graphics card or whatever the hell it had. So there were times when the graphics slowed down on the 3DS. You know, they chugged along a little bit during combat, for reasons that I don't really have answers for. But they, you know, I guess it was too strong for the system, you know? Eventually I went and got myself a new 3DS XL, and because I am an absolute Pokemon nerd, it is the Pikachu one. So, you know, I got that and, you know, kept playing, and that was all fun and games. But it was definitely I think that was a thing. So I think part of it is they were testing to see, okay, what can the Switch do? Like what can we do with it? And I haven't seen any chugging. What I have noticed, and I don't know if this is I don't know what's causing it necessarily, is that there are moments where the system has to think. Like, it doesn't know what to do yet. It hasn't made its decision. It seems to be particularly bad in doubles battles. And that's not necessarily, that's not a bad thing necessarily. What floor are we on? 4. Okay. Stop out for Pikachu for a bit. But I think it's a test. It's a test of the graphics engine. It's a test of interest. Hey, you want to give me the damn Porygon? Like, please? But I think they're very much testing this stuff to kind of see, okay, so what's the success of this game gonna be? And that'll help them decide where they want to go with the system or the series in the future. And you know what? I am happy with the test so far. I've had fun. Like, I would not be sticking with this series to the extent that I have been, and I would not be running the challenge that I am. I'm not going to say challenging myself, because let's face it, this is not exactly hard. But I would not be doing this the way that I am if I wasn't enjoying this. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying... Is this supposed to be the tower in Gold and Silver? And is this supposed to be where you fight Palkia? I wonder. I will say, I'm annoyed. So, as I said, I'm playing Pokemon Go. And I'm going around, and there are a couple of Pokemon that are really damn prevalent in my area. So, for me, it's enjoyable because Pikachu is very prevalent. So, I'm getting some Pikachus, which is definitely fun. Pikachu's prevalent, Gulpin, Magnemite, Slugma. There's a lot of Eevee around. I don't want Dream Eater because you still don't have Hypnosis. Like, I don't know what you want. There's a couple Pokemon around, but, I noticed that the catching system is the same it is in here. So it started in Go, which I didn't know. Which you guys have probably been like, man, Nye, the catch system in Pokemon Go. Well, now I know that. But it feels like Go does it better because I have more control in Pokemon Go. I don't miss as many Pokeballs in Pokemon Go as I do in this. I definitely have more control, but that's a touch screen, whereas this is motion control. Also, how am I don't get how I'm supposed to be a traitor. I'm not one of you. So I don't know where the traitor part comes in. But yeah, I definitely feel as if I have more control in that. I'm not... This is one of the 4 Rocket Sisters. Okay, why do I care? You don't even have a name. You're a grunt. How am I supposed to tell the sisters apart? So Pikachu is just going to continue to rock the socks off of everyone facing me. Don't fake out me. Who do you think you are? I am. Moving on. Yeah. So, things. I was annoyed when I was doing my graphics card shopping because I was actually one thing I try to do is when I'm trying to make a big purchase, and $400 is a big purchase. When I'm trying to make a big purchase, I try to think on it for a bit, make sure it's something I want to do. Before I adopted my dog, I was thinking on it for a month and making sure am I ready to get a dog again? Like, am I prepared for the responsibility that that a dog's gonna bring? Usually I spend a couple of weeks thinking about whatever it is that I'm preparing to do. Help you? Okay. Yeah, the man next to you is kind of a coward. Can I get more fresh water, please? Thank you. But, I try to think on stuff for a couple of weeks, try to see what I want to do. Now, I had already been... Okay, yeah, you're in the boondocks. Yeah, in the middle of one of the biggest cities in Kanto, sure. But, I try to think on stuff, because that is, in my opinion, that is the best way to avoid buyer's remorse, is to, sit on it, and then, like, a week or two later, do I still want that thing that I wanted? I try really hard not to impulse buy as much as I can. Part of that is from coming from retail, honestly. Having to set up stuff like impulse racks that were specifically designed to try to get people to impulse buy, try to upsell, things like that. So it's stuff I notice nowadays a lot more than I used to. Before I worked retail, I didn't really notice this stuff. But now I kind of look and I see the impulse racks, and I'll have that thought that, hey, maybe I should buy that thing. Then I go, wait a second, do not need. That is not something that's important to me. So it does definitely have a little bit of, of that feel. Got some points. Crap. Okay. I'm gonna have to actually leave Silk Company and heal. Just because I don't want to spend any more of my items, healing when we're running out of PP, among other things. I was so sure there was a room in Silphco where you could heal, and I haven't found it yet. So if I don't find it by the end of this floor, we can go back to the Pokemon Center. But yes, I was thinking about it, and so I was looking at me and Trance were looking at the sales last night, and all I was trying to do was to find a card fairly equivalent to the one I have now. The card I have now is able to play everything I want to play at a reasonable set of settings. It looks, everything looks good. It runs fairly fast. The only problem is, it's dying, and that's it. Like, that is the only trouble I have with it. So I wanted a card that was, equivalent. And I found one, and I was, going, okay, let me think on it. Because I looked and it said, okay, sales good till close of day Saturday. I'm like, okay, cool. I have about a day to think about it. So I go to look at it this morning. So I have been having... What floor am I on? 5? 6. Okay. I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping lately. Past couple of nights, I've slept 4 hours or less. I don't know where it's coming from. It's kind of weird because I'm actually usually an oversleeper. So now I'm just having all this trouble sleeping, and I don't really know where it's coming from. What the hell? Oh, key friggin' dokie. So I'm having a lot of trouble sleeping, so I got up, I went to bed last night close to probably 1:30 in the morning, 1:30 a.m. Magic doesn't end until 12. I had to go get a bite to eat, ate, relaxed for a few minutes, and went to bed. And then by 6:30, I was up again. So, 4 or 5 hours sleep. And I, like, when I say 6:30, I was up, because you're going to be like, well, you got 5 hours sleep, right? Well, it's more like I woke up at 5:30 and then tried to lay in bed for an hour and hoped I could, get some more rest, and it didn't happen. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me go, let me get ready to go out. I'll go do my grocery shopping. I'll go, I'll run around a little bit, hit a couple Pokestops around my area, get some gas in my car, and then I'll make a purchase on this graphics card. So I go and check the graphics card, and Newegg's like, yeah, we're out. It's gone. I'm like, God damn it. It's like, God damn it. I wanted that, but I'm like, okay, you know what? You snooze, you lose. Fine. But the issue is that my knowledge of stuff like graphics cards is not as good as I kind of wish it was. So I was looking at other things. Said, okay, Trance, the one that I was looking at sold out. Can you help me find a different one? It's like, okay, try this one instead. So I said, okay. But the problem is he answered me while I was at the grocery store. I get home, I look at the one that he is, and lo and behold, that one sold out too. So I'm like, what the hell? So I try to go back to the original one that I had in order to kind of review, and, Newegg does do that thing where it shows you what other customers have bought, and lo and behold, the original one that I was looking at is back in stock. I don't quite get how that happens. When you're out of stock for 2 hours, like, did you find a palette you didn't know about? I mean, that has happened. I'm familiar with that. I have done that. You know, there were definitely times working at GameStop where, you know, I've heard jokes that people say that when the associate says, "Let me go look in the back," that we're just going to the back and screwing around on our phone. Generally I'm looking. Like, because we have back stock. There's stuff in the back that is not out front, mostly because we have overstock and we're not putting it out because there's no reason to put, you know, 17 controllers on a single, like, you know, a single hook. You get 3 of them, the rest go in the back. Okay, apparently I can't save her. Okay. President's board on the 11th floor. I see Chad over there. Wonder what he's up to. Luckily, my key card still gets me in everywhere. Don't worry, I will not let Team Rocket take over. But, you know, so when we go to the back, we're actually legitimately looking to see if we have something, because I don't know a store around that doesn't have a messy back room. And I don't mean just GameStop. I mean, I don't know of a retailer that does not have a fairly messy back room. Chances are there's probably, you know, there's stuff under other stuff. There's boxes they haven't opened yet. You know, stuff is not always organized because, let's be honest, people are stupid. You know, I say that, and, you know, I want you to know, first of all, I'm not talking about you. But people are stupid. People are lazy. And I say this as a lazy person who is also fairly stupid. People are lazy. They don't want to do work. You know, I ended up getting a name for, you know, efficiency and efficacy, and it was mostly based around the fact that I was lazy. I didn't want to do it twice, and I wanted to spend the least amount of effort possible to get done what I needed to do. But what that turns into is efficiency. Put the least amount of effort in to get the maximum return, and that's what you want in a business. You know, except in a business, we say the least amount of input to get the maximum amount of output, but it's the same damn thing. People are lazy. They don't put stuff where it's necessarily supposed to be because they figure that this spot is just as good. And it isn't. But they figure it is. So, you know, we'll go to the back, and sometimes we find it, sometimes we don't. Because sometimes we legitimately do not have it. Sometimes we do. Inventory can be wrong because people make mistakes, so we go look. But on a site the size of Newegg, like, and we're talking about a 2-hour difference, and it's like, it's 2 hours in the early morning. Did they get a, you know, did they get a shipment in those 2 hours? They sold out again immediately after I placed my order. So they might have just had a bunch of people who just returned them or something, but I did fight you, right? Okay, yeah. What's going on over here? I see the scientist. Okay, so it looks like Chad is in a room I can only access by way of teleporter, which is going to be annoying because I'm basically skipping all the teleporters. So I'm trying to decide what I want to learn to cook. So it's something everybody should learn to cook. Like, you know, I wasn't sure how I felt about that statement because it's a statement I've heard a couple of times over the years. But now that I am actively making the attempt to learn to cook, it is something that I agree everybody should learn. You know, at least know a couple of dishes. And I know that I can make a fairly reasonable spaghetti and meat sauce. Am I Gordon Ramsay? Absolutely not. I do not know and do not think I will ever have his level of talent or any people of that caliber, and that is absolutely fine. I will make something that is filling and tastes good, and that's my thing. So what I'm trying to decide is what I want to learn to make, and the problem is I just don't know. The meals that I had as a child, the things that we ate, was a lot of Southern comfort food. So there's a lot of spaghetti and meat sauce. We also had stuff like, you know, we had corned beef and hash. We had meat and cabbage, just ground beef and cabbage was essentially what it is. We put Worcestershire sauce on it. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. Worcester? Maybe that's it. But we would put that on it. Red beans and rice. Like, I don't know what else. So red beans and rice probably the next one I have to do, mostly because that one's easy. You buy some Blue Runner, you buy some rice, and you put 2 different pots. I'm not a rocket. I did come to save you. Oh, and hey, there's a free Lapras. Okay, I was wondering when we would get the Lapras. It's a very intelligent Pokemon. I will be a very good trainer of Lapras. Thank you. Okay, so there's one of our missing Pokemon. A gentle soul that can understand human speech. It can ferry people across the sea on its back. So now we have a Lapras. It doesn't devolve. It's just there. You've always gotten Lapras here, and it's like the only place you can get one. Pokeball that's guaranteed to catch any Pokemon. Man. It's like you could just use a normal Pokeball or something. So we finally got the Lapras. We still have to get the Porygon. Have I? Oh, okay. I've already beaten you. All right. So I've already been on this floor, apparently. Did I go down on accident instead of up? Or have I already... have I just already done this floor? I must have already just done this floor. Who would want to work in a maze like this? See, I'm trying to decide what I want to learn to cook. I can make a decent sandwich. I need to learn to do eggs well. That's probably the next thing I need to learn is good scrambled eggs and maybe how to make an omelet. I don't know. The problem is that I have to, it's not just the recipes. I have to learn the skills. And I have to learn the basics. Because apparently there's stuff that people, like, so I think I mentioned, I can't remember where, but I think I mentioned I tried to make hamburgers somewhat recently. And in my cooking, I followed instructions off of, like, the Iron Chef website or something like that. But in cooking, I apparently, in what I did, I created apparently a pocket of blood inside of the patty that then spilled out when I took a bite, which was not pleasant. And so when I mentioned this, the first thing my sister asked is, okay, well, how high was the heat you're using? And I'm like, full heat. And they says, oh, you should only use half heat. It's like, how was I supposed to know this? That wasn't in the instructions. It just said cook it for 4 minutes. I thought high heat was for cooking, medium heat was for keeping it hot, and low heat was, I don't know. So apparently medium heat. But it is definitely this feeling of, like, there are things I need to learn. Okay. I will switch my Pokemon. I wasn't actually paying any attention to what's coming out, so let's go to Blastoise. This is probably a bad idea because it's a scientist and they use electric Pokemon, but oh well. But yeah, I don't know what to learn. The thing is, you know, I'm lazy. I have to get in the mood, and what I like to do, and one of the reasons I like spaghetti so much, well, I like cooking spaghetti so much, is because it makes a lot. You know, I make, you know, a number of servings, so it covers, like, lunch and dinner for the next 2 days. And that's convenient for me. I'll spend an hour cooking one day, but it will cover, like, 5 or 6 different meals. And I like that, you know, I enjoy that. So I gotta figure out something that does about the same. I think one of the things I'm definitely trying to I'm just trying to avoid, like, pre-made meals. It's definitely cheaper to cook from baseline. It takes a little bit longer, but it's cheaper. and arguably more delicious if I actually do it right. I'd have to give myself the time. I kind of pack my days full of stuff to do. But hey, if I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep, that's 4 extra hours to cook, right? One day I'll have to actually try to make pizza from scratch again. I haven't done that in years. Like years. Like I've made dough before. I used to work on a pizza place. I've made dough. I've made sauce. And when I say I've made dough and sauce, like the dough we actually did make from, base components, yeast, flour, water, and, sugar, salt. When, we made it. The sauce was more of a, like, there's a couple of different cans that we would throw into a mixer. But it was still, oh, hey, there's the heel. What's on this for? I knew there was one. Yeah, a couple different cans that we would throw in, but it would make fairly good sauce. I could probably do it. I don't know. It could be fun. I might have to find a day when I have me and my cousins over and involve them, because that would probably be fun, all of us doing it together. Just make a couple of personal pizzas for each of us. Like, once you understand the basics of making a pizza, it's so damn easy. It's messy. It is messy. Okay, guys. Well, this is a beautiful spot. This guy's a nurse, but I'm allowed to actually... Okay. Actually allowed to heal here. That's going to be it for me. Next episode, we will actually finish Silphco. Neat. We'll actually finish Silphco, and we'll move on to the gym. I'll see you soon.